I'd also like to acknowledge the Ngunnawal people as the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge any of our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander brothers and sisters that are here with us today. This has always been and will always be their land. I'd like to especially acknowledge our school students for refugees here today. And I'd like to take a moment to note that as we march today, millions of Americans are marching for their lives against gun violence. Today I speak with the backing of more than 3,500 ACT public educators in schools and in CIT, and also with support of the AEU federally, 190,000 strong and growing. I also speak on behalf of 33,000 union members here in the Territory. As unionists, we are used to turning up, and turning up against significant odds. When the chronicle of this sorry chapter in our history is complete, turning up is what will have mattered. Our only risk is to go away. Progressive, humanist, compassionate, inclusive ideas will prevail if we keep turning up. We have seen it with so many struggles in the last century. Congratulations on turning up today to say once again, things must change. Friends, since we last met in this forum, progress has been negligible. There are still children incarcerated on Nauru. The men on Manus are not safe. They are still being bashed and they live in fear. Visa holders are being raided by Serco goons in the early hours of the morning as if they were suspected of some horrendous crime, and in a manner in which Europeans who overstayed their visas would never be treated. The government still finds creative and despicable ways to separate children from their parents. Trump and Trumbull are making sketchy, politically expedient deals using the lives of good people to determine which of these two inept and narcissistic leaders is tougher than the other. Dutton has secured his trophy of an Uber ministry, has begun to prioritise the resettlement of white English speakers, and physically he has entered the final stages of his transformation into Voldemort. There is plenty of reason to be pessimistic, but we simply refuse to be. As unionists, we understand that an attack on anybody and their basic rights is an attack on all of our rights, and indeed an attack on all of us. If they treat these human beings like that, they could treat anybody like that. We stand in solidarity with refugees to demand justice and safe settlement. Refugee rights are human rights, and refugee rights are union business. As teachers, we have long been concerned about what the normalisation of cruelty by the national government is doing to the psychology of our students. Too many of our young children now think it is normal to treat people in need in this vile fashion. The messages of inclusion that are being conveyed formally and informally through our schools and other educational institutions are being persistently undermined by the us and them, I'm all right Jack narrative of adults in positions of responsibility who should know better. How could the notion of exclusion possibly square with what educators do every day? It's anathema to us. My 11-year-old daughter is with us today. She's not surprised by stories of Australians treating innocent people with cruelty. Well, she bloody well should be. She absolutely should be surprised by stories of state-sponsored cruelty in this country. So my message to you today is we are right and we will keep going until it's done. While there are good people in this assembly building over here, and there are, and the bigger building beyond, while there are good people in there, that big building over there that used to be beautiful until they started turning it into a compound, while there are good people in elected positions, we must be emboldened to press on. The AEU knows this from the TAFE scene. Things have looked very bleak indeed. but persistence has seen the promise of a brighter future. Indeed, if the man formerly known as Malcolm Turnbull is booted out of power in a few months' time, TAFE will have its lifeline. We could have given up on TAFE, but we didn't. Some have thrown the issue of refugees into the too hard basket. Your strong presence here today tells us that this is the last thing on your minds. In numbers, we have power, so let us stay strong. Thank you.